con nosotros en este su programa Café con Leche, la voz de los latinos en América. Estamos transmitiendo desde Hermosa 1470, 96.9 FM y también en Facebook Live y en YouTube. Gracias por estar con nosotros. Les habla Lilia Galindo. Me acompaña el doctor Robert Harris. Él es el director de programas especiales y categóricos, y Ana Pena-Santos, que es la coordinadora del programa de aprendices de inglés y del programa de educación migrante. Bienvenidos. Welcome both. Do you know when we talk, let's see each other over there, otherwise we are going to be with our head turned every time. So, welcome, Dr. Robert Harris. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what kind of activities do you cover? What is that about categorical and special programs?
Absolutely. So first of all, good morning and thank you for having me. Definitely excited to be here to share on the work that we are currently looking at through the Antelope Valley Union High School District. My title is the Director of Categorical and Special Programs, and primarily my function is looking at federal funding and really finding ways to leverage that those resources with input from the community, from all of our educational partners, to the best interest of all of our students. And so that is really day in and day out, and kind of from an overarching perspective, what I work on, really finding those ways to take every dollar and maximize the use of every dollar to the best interest of our kids.
Okay, let's make a pause in some way that we can try the skills of my friend Anna in the translation, but sometimes it's too long. Do you want to take note or do you?
We're good. Sí.
Okay.
El doctor Harris les da la bienvenida. Buenos días. Él está muy contento de estar aquí con nosotros esta mañana. Su papel en el distrito, él es el director de los programas especiales y categóricos. Su papel principal en nuestro distrito es trabajar con el dinero federal, todo el dinero que entra del Estado federal,
del gobierno federal.
Del gobierno federal. Y él lo que hace es ve estos fondos y con la información y los comentarios, sugerencias de la comunidad, él puede tomar decisiones y ayudar a nuestro distrito en diferentes formas. Él se comunica con todos nuestros asociados educativos, que son los padres, la comunidad, los maestros, etcétera, para tomar decisiones de cómo usar de mejor manera el dinero.
Perfecto. Dr. Harris, it's my understanding that many of the federal money come to support English learners. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. So our English learner population is definitely at the forefront and one of our areas of focus. And for that reason, from my office, we've really put some real intentionality behind making sure that we collaborate with our English learner department, with our parents, and we're at all of the district English learner advisory committee meetings just to make sure that we get their input, because we can have great ideas on how to support our kids, but really we need to make sure that it's a strong partnership with our parents and with everyone involved. And so absolutely.
Mi pregunta fue que es mi entendimiento que mucho, o por lo menos una parte sustantiva de estos fondos del gobierno federal son destinados a los programas de aprendices de inglés. ¿Y qué nos contestó Ana?
El doctor Harris comenta que sí, tiene razón usted. Hay bastante dinero que entra federalmente para nuestros aprendices de inglés y hemos formado con el departamento del doctor Harris y el departamento de aprendices de inglés una comunidad con nuestros padres. En cada junta de DLAC, ellos están presentes para platicar sobre lo que los padres quisieran ver y qué está funcionando, qué no está funcionando. So, el doctor Harris está trabajando muy duro para formar esas relaciones positivas con nuestra comunidad de aprendices de inglés.
Just that you know I am an English learner, right? Well, let me ask you, how big is in the school district, how big is the English learner population? How percentage of?
On average, what we see at school sites, for example, I was the principal at Palmdale High School recently, and so our population there, it ranged, but typically right around the 65% mark. And so we are looking at, so on average, if you're looking at average, we were right about the 65% mark. And so it is substantial. And by average, I mean sometimes greater, sometimes a little bit less, but it is a substantial population. And so it is critical that we ensure that we're providing services for our kids. One of the things that we actually just did, I believe this was yesterday, was Disciplina Positiva, and it was a great, definitely a great initiative, and so those are the type of things that we look for initiatives that not only address our kids but also address the needs of our parents, and so yeah.
La señora Lilia comentaba o preguntaba cuál es nuestro porcentaje de aprendices de inglés en nuestro distrito. A mí el doctor Harris comentó que él era principal en Palmdale High School y los números sí varían. Tenemos escuelas con más aprendices de inglés, tenemos otras escuelas con menos, pero sobre todo en el distrito hay aproximadamente 10% de nuestros estudiantes que son aprendices de inglés. En este momento tenemos aproximadamente 2,200 aprendices de inglés en el distrito. El programa el trabajo del Dr. Harris es traer recursos que nuestras familias necesitan. Por ejemplo, ayer él comenta que tuvimos a Tony Orozco y Disciplina Positiva en vivo, en persona con nuestros padres. Tuvimos una graduación excelente con más de 60 padres presentes que tomaron su curso de 6 semanas. Entonces son cosas de que él y el distrito están apoyando porque estas clases para padres son tan esenciales y nuestra comunidad las pide.
Bueno, disciplina positiva, qué bueno. There are a lot of students who speak more Spanish than English, and then they now get along with all other students who speak Spanish too. So they don't give themselves the opportunity to learn English because they don't talk with anybody else, and then they go home and they speak Spanish. And I know that it's so important to keep our own language because being bilingual, look, our amiga Ana, you have a lot more opportunities, better salaries, and I think everybody should speak more than one language. But how can we resolve this problem? Because, okay, we are talking about discipline, and this is really good because right now, after the COVID, I assume that there were a lot of problems with emotional problems. However, how can we address the other thing? How can you make us easy to learn English?
So just a point of clarification as well before I proceed. When I said that 65% mark, I was looking at the demographic. So when looking at Hispanic students, it's about 65%. We have about 10% of our students that are English learners and have that designation. So just that clarification. But to answer your question, there's a lot that we currently engage in, and we're always looking for different strategies to address those issues. One of the things that we look at, we're always finding ways to have our English learners be a part of the learning community in general. So we're always promoting, even through our English learner committees at each of the sites, we're always promoting ways to have our English learners fully integrate into the community, into the learning community that they're a part of. So anything from being a part of ASB, looking at clubs, activities, grade-specific collaboratives. We're always looking for ways to have our English learners be a part of everything that takes place on our campuses. In addition, there is a focus right now on academies, and so looking at academies and pathways. And our English department, including Anna over here, has done a great job at really placing some intentionality behind getting our English learners into the great academies that we have available at each one of our sites.
Bueno, mi pregunta era que yo veo, le digo que yo veo muchos estudiantes que no hablan bien inglés y como no se sienten cómodos hablando inglés, se juntan con puros que hablan español. Entonces no se dan la oportunidad de aprender de sus compañeros. Se retrasa muchísimo más en su inglés porque van a la casa y hablan también español. Digo que yo entiendo que está muy bien que tengamos las dos lenguas, pero es muy importante que aprendamos inglés también para poder avanzar. ¿Y qué nos dijo Ana, por favor?
El doctor Harris, primero que todo, comenzó con una clarificación. Cuando él habló de 65%, él hablaba de nuestros estudiantes latinos o hispanos. Ahora, 10% es aproximadamente nuestro porcentaje de aprendices de inglés. Ahora, con la pregunta de Lilia, él comenta de que nuestro distrito está trabajando muy duro para integrar a nuestros estudiantes aprendices de inglés en todo lo que es los clubs, academias, programas, para que ellos se sientan parte de nuestra comunidad. En este momento, nuestro departamento de aprendices de inglés de parte del distrito, con cada grupo de consejeros, maestros en cada una de las escuelas, están tomando unas acciones para que los muchachos, los aprendices de inglés se sientan cómodos y se unan a diferentes clases, actividades, los clubs. Como usted sabe, Lilia, tenemos excelentes academias en nuestro distrito escolar. Entonces nosotros y nuestros coordinadores están trabajando para que ellos entren a estas academias. El porcentaje de éxito con estos muchachos que entran a las academias es excelente. Queremos que nuestros chicos aprendices de inglés sean parte de estos programas.
Excelente, doctor. Now with the COVID, many people didn't do really well at school because of the situation or whatever. How can we do now, or what can we do now to put them on the place that they should be? Because you are talking about 65% Hispanics. Then I don't know if everybody already speaks perfect English, but I think that our only investment here in the Antelo Valley for many of us is our house. If we don't have a community that grow up and that advance, and we have many opportunities to do it, all our investments are going to go down. Then it's convenient for everybody that we help everybody to go at the same, ¿cómo se dice? Al mismo paso.
The same pace, the same rate.
No, absolutely. So that's definitely a great point. And throughout the course of the interruption caused by the COVID pandemic, one of the things that our district place focused on was mitigating learning loss. And so that continues at this juncture. We really have invested and this is one of the ways that we have leveraged some of the grants and some of the funding that we have accessible at our for our district and for our sites. We have really looked at many different ways to expand upon learning opportunities available for students during the course of the school day and also outside of the regular school day. So even looking at Saturday school opportunities, after school tutoring, online applications that are available for students to receive tutoring after school, different ways to do credit recovery. All of these are things that we've kind of put in place to mitigate that learning loss. We do recognize that there's no real substitute for in-person learning with a teacher in front of you and having that level of interaction. And so we're still constantly looking for new ways and new resources that we can leverage to address learning loss.
Perfecto. Mi comentario es que cómo se le va a hacer ahora con esto después de la etapa del COVID que tuvimos, que muchos estudiantes se han quedado rezagados. Le digo, el 65% estamos hablando de estudiantes son hispanos. No sé si todos hablan perfectamente inglés, pero es muy importante que todos avancemos al mismo ritmo. Si no, nuestra única inversión que tenemos, que es nuestra casa, el valor de la casa se va a ir, y si no tenemos se va a ir para abajo si no tenemos una población que crece toda y que marcha todo al mismo paso. Pero